Hello, welcome back to my channel. Now, today is just gonna be a preview stream here. I'll interact with chat a bit, of course, but I'll just mostly be ranting off and doing my thing here. So, Man City is back here for the end of the season, for some end of the season humiliation. Being a Man City fan this season, it's like having a humiliation king, isn't it? But big up here for the Silt in chat as always, and for Rosa as well. Hello Rosa, how are you? So, what I'm just gonna do here is I'm gonna go through every single game from Man City until the end of the season. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm going through all the games until the end of the season, both Premier League and FA Cup. I'm not counting Club World Cup. I don't care about that competition, but like that's what I'm gonna do basically. So I'll just give my predictions for all of that. I'll tell you what I honestly think. I'm good. What about you? I'm doing good as well. Thank you for asking. Hello, Wim. Hello. How are you? So, let's begin first with maybe a bit of injury news before we even get into like the games and all of that. Let's get into some injuries because actually we did see Guardiola in training actually quite recently. I don't need this over here, by the way. 1 second. There we go. So let me share my screen. I should have set this up earlier. Dun-dun-dun. Man City injuries. There you go. Hello, Elf. Hoe was je dag? Oliver is coming in with the Dutch hair today. Goed. There you go. Prediction Feyenoord, go ahead Eagles. Not really sure. I'll go Feyenoord to win 2-1. The Foden memes on Twitter right now are absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I don't pay attention to the memes too much right now, but yeah. Rodri, of course, injured until... let's be honest. This man... I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but let's be honest. This man should not be touching a pitch. Until next season. He will play in the Club World Cup. I promise you guys, yeah. He will play in the Club World Cup. He should not be touching a pitch until next season. That's the honest truth. Nathan Ake is injured until... that's the end of the Premier League season, so... he's injured until the end of the season. John Stones... apparently back right before the end of the season. I'm not sure he'll play at all, to be honest. Now, Manuel Akanji actually comes back right before our semi-final fixture, assuming we get a semi-final in the FA Cup. I doubt he plays, to be honest. I doubt he plays. Ederson. Now, this injury is pretty recent. He should be back in time for the game against Bournemouth. But I do think that Ortega will start that game. Because Ortega is our top goalkeeper. Might as well not risk it, right? And Oscar Bob, well, he's perpetually injured. So that's injuries here ahead of the restart of the season. Now let's actually do the previews here to every game. So again, how I'll do this is I'll go through every game that we have left this season. I'm also going to assume that we advance in the FA Cup a bit here, but... for the first fixture, which is on Sunday, 2 days from now, Man City against Bournemouth. And I actually think that Man City will beat Bournemouth. To be honest, I think Man City will beat Bournemouth. But I won't be surprised if he lost, but I think we'll beat him. And the reason why is because Bournemouth is not as good as people think right now, if we're being honest. Bournemouth have plenty of injuries too. Like we have injuries, and people say we have injuries as an excuse. So do Bournemouth. Bournemouth also have injuries. And Pep might play the younger players. We have our own injuries as well. The board will pressure Pep Guardiola to get top 5, to get Champions League, which is more important to the board than the FA Cup. Let's be honest. You play in the Champions League and get to round of 16, you get more money than winning the FA Cup. So the board will be pressing Pep, make sure you get Champions League. So from an internal perspective from the club, Pep Guardiola will probably be pressured into playing younger players. Which might ironically actually be better for us in the FA Cup. I made the joke a while ago. Nah, I doubt that. I'd like to see him start, but I doubt that. I made a joke a while ago that Bournemouth, not Bournemouth, that Pep would win the FA Cup by accident. At this point, it might not even be a joke, to be honest. I think we beat Bournemouth. I don't know why. I just got a gut feeling for this game. That's the honest truth. For this game, I just got a gut feeling like we will beat Bournemouth. Etcheverry debut in this game? I don't think so. Who says yes here for an Etcheverry debut? I don't think it will happen though, if we're being honest. But yeah, I would love to see Etcheverry make his debut, to be honest, in the FA Cup. Because if we go out of the FA Cup, listen, we still got the Premier League to go for. And Champions League spots. So I do prefer winning the FA Cup over getting top 4, of course, as a fan. But like, then you've got the club sides to think about. Everything is about perspective, right, isn't it? Everything is about perspective. Yeah. Yes, says Swim, and yes, says Rosa. Well, I enjoy your enthusiasm, but I doubt it. Now, assuming we beat Bournemouth, which I just said we will, clip that up, I guess. The next 4 games are all gonna be league games. So, Leicester at home, Man United away, Crystal Palace at home, Everton away, in that order. Let's go through all of those games. We'll begin with Leicester. Now, Leicester City, where are they in the league? I believe they're 19th on 17 points. That has to be an easy win for us. We have to. There is no excuse. No matter how bad Man City is, Leicester City at home, we need to win that. So even if you are playing with the old, here's the thing. Even if you are playing with old players like Gundogan, Kovacic, Silva, I still think we beat Leicester. Even if we are playing that old team, even if we have like De Bruyne starting and then Silva, I still think we beat them. They are just that bad. A draw to Leicester will be the same as losing, because they are that bad. They are a second division team. They might be in the Premier League, but they are a championship team. That is the honest truth. If we don't win this game, top 5 is probably out of the question. Because here's the thing, right? You can say, okay, top 5, all the teams will drop points, but there are still must-win games. This is a must-win game. Top 5 is out of the question if we can't even beat Leicester. Draw is not good enough. I don't think anyone can really argue with that. If that happens, by the way, we don't get top 5, that might mean Pep is gone, because I think the biggest club objective right now is get Champions League. So if he doesn't get Champions League, he may be in trouble, you know. He may be in trouble. Today, Gent ladies against Club Women. I hope the Club Women can win a game for once. 2 more months. Big up to Luke. We're slowly driving into insanity here, but it's alright, guys. It's alright. We're surviving somehow for now. 2 more months gets Champions League, and honestly, I'm balling, to be honest. But I really don't care who plays against Leicester. It's pretty much what I'm coming down to here. I think it will be a great game though to have Etcheverry's debut. Like, I don't really care who plays, but Etcheverry debut, whether he starts or comes off the bench, that will be great. So, I guess in this game, if you want to play more conservative, you can have Kovacic as DM, Silva Foden as 8, that maybe might work. You can have like Lewis as an extra midfielder, because let's be honest, you'll have to ball all game, so it will be more like a back 3. Vardy is our only consistent goal scorer. Like, you know what? Put Husanov to man-mark Vardy, and they probably don't score that game. So now it's only the question, can we score with Erling Haaland, maybe Savinho or Doku on the pitch, or Marmoush, and Foden and against Leicester? I think yes. So that game, we will be playing mostly with the ball. We have to win it. I think it's a pretty simple to win game. Then the next game is Man United at Old Trafford. Now listen, we should win. We should win against Man United at Old Trafford. But I will not be surprised if we lose. If I'm being honest with you. They want to beat us when they play us. Let's be honest. It's a derby. They want to beat us. They are more stable now that Ruben Amorim is there. even if just slightly. Man United might be awful, but we're not good either. Like Man United, yeah, they want to beat us. So we might say, okay, we're so much better than Man United. Okay, first of all, we lost to them at Etihad. Beating them at Old Trafford is difficult. Like, I know we've had some good wins at Old Trafford recently. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's still Old Trafford. Even if the stadium is falling down, you don't go there and win against Man United, especially not if you're Man City, without a tough game. So for me, again, in that game, yeah, you know what our thing is? We need to be defensively solid in that game. So I'm thinking like maybe having Gvardiol, Diaz, Husanov as the back three, and having someone else as a extra midfielder who can come back to beat the left back or right back. So you're looking at Lewis, maybe Grealish, maybe Victor Hayes if he can do that. But I want Gvardiol as a centre back in this game. Because Gvardiol is fast, Husanov is fast, and they will counter us quickly. So we need that solidity against Man United, I think. It still gives us the opportunity to push up the pitch, I think. So against Man United, that is what I would do. But that's not what Pep will do. That is not what Pep will do. What I predict Pep will do is the same old. Gvardiol, Diaz, Husanov, Lewis. Or maybe Nunez, but I doubt it. Maybe if he's really lost his mind. And what he'll do is he'll push Lewis up and we'll get countered down Lewis's side constantly. And we'll just get cooked. Husanov will try to handle it. They will double up on Husanov and there will be a goal at the far post. That's what's gonna happen. Both of our fullbacks will get cooked that game if it's Gvardiol Lewis. Because I don't rate Gvardiol as a fullback. Like, I don't. Like, he's decent. Like, don't get me wrong. When I say I don't rate him, I'm not saying he's bad. He was good enough last season. But he's not improved from last season. And he needs to improve from last season defensively as a fullback. And he's not done that. So our fullbacks, both of them, will get cooked in the Man United game, if we're being honest. Midfield for me is like a no-brainer. I say so, it's a no-brainer, but Pep will not play the midfield I'm thinking about. What I'm thinking about is Niko Kovacic, Marmoush. Gives us solidity. Kovacic can drive the ball up the pitch a bit. Marmoush, he can make those runs in behind. Niko can play balls in behind. Marmoush playing off of Haaland. All that great stuff. Let's be honest, Pep Guardiola will play with Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, maybe even both, which I really hope he doesn't. Neither of them should be starting any games until the end of the season, except for maybe Leicester, Southampton. But Pep will play them somehow. He will shoehorn them in somehow. If the midfield is full of old men, again by the way, if it's full of old players, and we get cooked, blame Pep. Like, blame Pep for that. The resources are there to beat Man United. Like, I should be comfy here saying we will beat Man United. Because we have the resources, we have the players to comfortably go to Old Trafford and beat Man United. The problem is the manager. Will he play with Foden left wing, Savinho right wing, Marmoush behind Haaland and then Haaland up top? Which has worked really well this season when we've combined those. Take the Newcastle game. Or will Pep do something entirely different, which is weird? If Foden is playing a poor game, is he getting substituted off? Or will he get the entire game for free? That is my problem. This game should be comfortable for us, this Man United game. It's not the players that I mind here, it's the manager. And what he'll do. And what players he'll line up, I suppose. End the season strong, play some good football, and get the feel-good vibes in the stadium back again. Because right now it's depressing. Absolutely, that's what we're hoping for. That's what I wanted at the end of the season. And you've got the perfect opening game there with Leicester. So you beat Leicester. It's the start of a run. Now Old Trafford, that is where they want to end our run. That is where they want to end our run. And my honest prediction is Pep will go wrong in a lot of ways in this game against Man United. He'll play Gvardiol and Lewis at fullback. or maybe even Nunez. Our fullbacks will get cooked in the United game all game long. Our midfield will probably be old and dysfunctional again. If Foden is dropping a stinker, he won't get substituted off. He'll just keep playing, if he plays at all. And our attack will be still as a consequence, because everything else is falling apart. And we will play better in the first half than in the second half. Watch that. We will play better in the first half than the second half. And if we win that game, it will be pure individual brilliance. Watch. Because tactically, I tell you, Pep will be outclassed tactically in this game. I just know it already. I just got that feeling, and it's just that gut feeling about that. So, then on to the next game is Crystal Palace, who I believe we play at home. Or do we play them away? Yeah, Crystal Palace at home. And we can't beat them. Like, if you look at our past seasons, 2-0 up against Crystal Palace, 2-2. Like, this is a team that we've had a lot of Bozo moments against, to be honest. So don't be surprised if you concede a Bozo goal against Crystal Palace. Late into the game to draw it or even to lose it. This Crystal Palace game for me is important. This Crystal Palace game, the Leicester City game, these are the must-win games. These are the easier games that you have to win. Because if we don't win some of these easier games, Newcastle just won a Carabao Cup. They are chasing that high. They won't be dropping as many points from here on out as they have before. So Newcastle, you need to look out for them. They are on high confidences after that Carabao Cup. So we can't drop points in these easier games. Now I know Leicester, it's like one of those teams that we just struggle against sometimes. But really, if you look at the league table and stuff and the teams you have left to play, we're at home against them. This should be an easier game that we should win. But don't be surprised if there's a Bozo moment somewhere. Probably Bernardo Silva or Foden who plays way too long. And then same old. And we also, by the way, we also have Goodison Park coming up. A lot of people forget that. We play Everton at Goodison Park. I guess that's a good way to transition onto the next game. We play Everton at Goodison Park. And last time we played, still draw. And this time, we might see a lot of the same. Everton is very defensively solid, and we can't break down a deep block this season. All season long, we've struggled with deep block because we lack attacking fullbacks, and normally we compensate for that in midfield, but we don't have midfield, so all season long, we don't have creativity from midfield. We don't have wingers like Maris and Sterling or stuff like that, or Sane to bring into goals. So all of that culminates in an absolute lack in ability to break down low blocks this season. No one is crashing the box either. No pure box-to-box midfielder. And Matthäus might tell me that Gvardiol is a fullback, but he's not a fullback, is he? He's a centre-back. And we will be playing Gvardiol again as a fullback this game, and that is just not going to work on an attacking point of view for me. And even if it is, Rico Lewis, he's a midfielder. Matheus Nunes, he's a midfielder. You want to play them as fullbacks. And a game against Everton, yeah, what I'm looking for is fullbacks who overlap. Remember the Everton game, Newcastle game at St. James Park last season. How did we get that first goal? It was an overlap from Kyle Walker on the right wing. And then, of course, the other two goals were incredible work by Kevin De Bruyne. First the goal and then the assist. But, the first goal against a deep block, it's from overlapping fullback and then from midfield creativity, which we don't have this season. Maybe off the bench, but that ain't maybe enough against informed Everton. So, maybe on paper, Gustinov can do that, because, he is fast. But then you've also asked the question of, will Pep play Gustinov fullback? And no, he won't. He's going to play with Lewis or Nunez. Either of which will get cooked on transition as well, so Everton are good at countering, by the way, and crossing, so we are bad at marking the box and board at set pieces for a while now, so I'll predict that we'll concede in the Everton game to either a far post goal, tap in, like headed on open net, something like that, or from a set piece in that game. That very well. I think that will be a draw. I think we'll get 1-1 at Goodison Park. That's my honest prediction. What's this here? Carlo Atli. Wait, what? Do you mean Ancelotti? Carlo Ancelotti got 4 years of prison. Manager of Real, 4 years of prison. He's only on trial. He's only on trial for tax fraud charges. Well, that's an entire subject for the stream, isn't it? I need to save that. That's an entire subject for something different. I've bookmarked that. We'll go through that another time. Yikes. Big up everyone. Big up to Rich. Be hitting the likes and subscribing as always. Big up to Rich again for being in here all the times. So, before the game against Aston Villa in the Premier League, which is after the Everton game, we'll have the FA Cup semis if we make it to the semis, which I predicted we would. So, let's say we get those semis and we play against Aston Villa. Like, that is possible. I think they will beat us. But we could also get a game against, let's say, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Brighton and Nottingham Forest. Those are the other teams left. Wild prediction, yeah? If we get Fulham or Forest, I think we will beat them. Neither of them are cup teams, and here is why, yeah? Forest is doing very well in the league, and they'll be hoping to get Champions League football. They can't be dropping points, they can't be focusing on the cup too much. They don't have the depth to do both cup and league. They don't. So both of these teams really have good starting 11s, but I don't rate their bench. And in these cup games, when you need some points in the league, you might be looking at your bench players, and I don't think their bench players will get it over the line. Neither of these teams have been jinxes of ours. We've already beaten Nottingham Forest. Now, we lost the other game, but we have beaten Forest before this season. And I just don't think they'll be as good as Brighton or Crystal Palace against us. Brighton, you know what's the thing is with Brighton? They play a style of football that we don't like. They play quick counter-attacking football, but they can hold on to the ball. They just play open football. It's not really counter-attacking, it's open football. And we like to close the game off to just keep all the possession and to have our own game, right? But Brighton, they play an open style of football that we don't like. Crystal Palace, I mean, they are our jinx team as I talked about earlier, so I think that Brighton and Crystal Palace would actually be worse for us than Fulham and Forest, if I'm being honest. So, they also, by the way, Brighton, they have inconsistent players, but on their day, they can be brilliant, Brighton. Estupinian, Mintoma, Minte, João Pedro. They have some solid defenders there, Hinselwood, Van Hekken, and a decent goalkeeper, Verbruggen. So these are players who, they're not really quality players because they don't do it consistently. But if they feel inspired, which they will, it's a Champions, or not a Champions League, an FA Cup semi-final, they will feel inspired. So if we get Brighton, I think we're probably out. If we get Aston Villa, I think we're probably out. If we get Crystal Palace, it's a coin toss if you ask me. Nottingham Forest, I'm not confident, but I think we can beat them. Fulham, I think we beat. Fulham, I just think we beat them. So that's for the FA Cup semi-final. If we get there. If we get anyone, well, we can't get anyone else, can we? I've gone through everyone. We can get Preston. Preston in the FA Cup semi-final, they'll have to beat Villa. We'll probably be playing Villa if we're being honest. We won't get to the finals if we're being honest. Club Brugge Anderlecht this weekend. Finally, I'm hoping Campbell. Well, Campbell won't play. He's never gonna play a 18-year-old against Anderlecht. He won't play. Then comes the league again with Aston Villa at home. And we already lost an embarrassing defeat to Aston Villa this season. So what I'm hoping for here is to play a bit better. I'm hoping to have learned from that game against Villa. that was an away game. This is at home, I believe, so yeah. That would have been an away game. And you know what, yeah, this is a game where I personally would love to see counter-attacking football against Aston Villa at home. Now, I'd be banned from the Etihad if Pep heard that, but the reason I say that, yeah, is because Villa sometimes goes too high up the pitch. They trust their attackers, by all means, they have good attackers and a solid midfield, but if we can run in behind with Haaland and Marmoush, because they push up a bit too much, they are cooked. But here's the problem. Pep won't do that. We'll struggle to get any balls into meaningful positions. We'll have 60% of possession, and we'll do fuck all with it. That is the truth. And we're not gonna sit deep, we're not gonna rely on counter-attacks. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna open up, we're gonna hold on to the ball, and we'll give Aston Villa an easy win. You know what, yeah? The Aston Villa game is a litmus test for adaptability between these managers. So here's a prediction. Here is why it's a litmus test. Pep Guardiola, if he's a genius of a manager, he will change something up in this Aston Villa game to make us a little bit more counter-attacking, a bit more solid defensively. If he is a genius, as people claim. Unai, on the other hand, will do the same. He'll sit back a bit more, he'll try to hold on to the ball a bit less, he'll try to be a bit more quicker going, he'll try to get goals a bit faster, he'll try to run in behind. This Aston Villa game, yeah, is a litmus test to how good these managers are in adapting to the situation. I don't know what to expect from that Aston Villa game. But you know what, yeah? You know what? If Aston Villa goes a goal up, that game is pretty much done. Because whenever we concede a goal, we lose our minds this season. And Aston Villa will hold on to the ball, stay calm, because they're incredibly well coached, and play the game out. And then they'll probably get another goal. They'll start crossing the ball, they'll start spam crossing it, and at some point that far post, remember the far post, I've said it since fucking Wolves, when Strand Larsen scored. The far post is where we'll concede. And then actually, after the Aston Villa game is Wolves and Southampton. I can't really be asked to give a preview about those two. If we don't beat Wolves and Southampton, like you know. And if I ever fucking see Strand Larsen scored against us again, bro, help me God, if I ever see Strand Larsen scored against this club again. Because, bro, I will lose my mind. I'll be on the verge of insanity if I see Strand Larsen scoring against us again, bro. That guy is so dog shit. The fact we allowed him to score against us in the first half of the season is already pathetic. So, bro, those two games, I can't even give you any tactics for those games. We have to beat Wolves and Southampton, and Leicester as well. Leicester as well here. End the season, innit, if you can't beat fucking Leicester, bruv. Then the final two games of the season are Bournemouth and Fulham. I believe Bournemouth at home and Fulham away. Yes. Bournemouth at home and Fulham away. But if we get to the FA Cup final, which I doubt, but let's say we get to the FA Cup final before the Bournemouth game, then Bournemouth will actually be midweek. So by the end of the season, I would hope that we've built some momentum by the end of the season, because I cannot be talking about the same issues I've talked about all season and a bit throughout this stream when we are in our last two fixtures of the season. I really can't. It is our last game at the Etihad, by the way, the Bournemouth game this season, and at this point in the season, I'm not sure where we will be standing for the top 5. So, if we can, you know what it is, yeah? If we are comfortably in top 5, let's say we are comfortably in top 5, mathematically secure top 5, by the Bournemouth game, and we draw Bournemouth, I honestly don't even care. But even if we lose, I like expect an emergency meeting. But like depending on how it goes, if we're top 5 already, I might be chill to be honest. But if this is like an important game for top 5, like right at the end of the season, and we lose it, yeah, la 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 la. Won't surprise me if we see protests about the ticketing situation because it's getting out of control. We will be talking about that all constantly on the Blue Friday show. The tickets are insane, bro. The club just don't care about us, you know. You know Michael Jackson? They don't really care about us. Bro, whenever you see this club anything, look up that Michael Jackson song and listen to that, because that is what's happening at this club. That's what's happening at this club, bro. So, by the way, we won't win the FA Cup. Prediction, we will not win the FA Cup. I know that's before the bottom of the game, which is also stupid, by the way. FA Cup final before the end of the season. That's dumb. It's dumb. Why not just FA Cup final after the end of the season? Oh right, they had to shoehorn 25 different fucking international breaks in there. They had to get another break for the fucking donkey to get his fucking wallet checked or something like that. They had to add extra games for the Champions League. They have to add an entire fucking new tournament in the Club World Cup. Right, that's why. It's fucking stupid. Like, let's be honest, it's fucking stupid. But yeah, the FA Cup final before the Bournemouth, I don't think we win it. I don't even think we'll get there. If we do, fair enough, I don't think we win it. I think Aston Villa wins the FA Cup this season. But yeah. Then on to the last game of the season. Fulham away is the last game of the season. And you know what is interesting about that game? It's the mentality. And this game, this will be a perfect game to see the mentality of these Man City players. Either these players will think the season is finally done and they'll play horribly, just wanting to get off the pitch, or these players will be like, I don't care, I'm done at Man City, I'm leaving in the summer, and they'll play terribly. Or they could have found shame, or God, big up to Lee Gunner, and give us third Alfred one last time. So this Fulham game, yeah, at the end of the season, we'll tell you everything you need to know about next season, about the mentality of the club for the next season. If you're flying, beating up Fulham, then I can have some hope for the next season. If you're playing lethargic, hopeless, uninspired, players wanting to get off the pitch, like not caring, all the same issues as throughout the season, then next season is grim too, you know. Next season is grim too if that happens. Like, I shouldn't get the thoughts, but the players have to show something. The players have to show something, or the next season will be just as bad as this season. We have to know that there is mentality there to still win games. I don't think Champions League will come down to the final day of the season. I think final day of the season, we will know whether we are top 5 or whether we are not top 5. So, what I'm wanting to see here is, I want to see these players play for nothing. It's not a club they'll be at anymore for a lot of them. Even if they won't play a lot anymore. They're not playing for Champions League, they're not playing for anything, they're not playing for anything in this game. I want to see these players. Do they want to win a game just for winning a game? Just wanting to win. No reason, just want to win. Hate losing. Fucking hate losing. That's what I want to see. Some fire in these players, yeah? Like, bench the old players, put on some young players, even if there's nothing left to play for. I want to see some hunger just to win. Just for the sake of winning. Even if it means nothing. If we can see that at the end of the season, then I have some hope for the next season. But if we see at the end of the season here, same old, then I'm thinking, well, next season is going to be the same again. So, that Fulham game at the end of the season, you know what that is? That is That is just a test, a mentality test for the next season. What we can expect next season, mentality-wise, from the club. We can win the FA Cup, but we need to see a serious change from the team and manager for that to happen. We need to see a serious change in staff. Most importantly, I think staff has to change, man. Like actually, a lot of these staff have to be fucked off. If I'm being honest, a lot of these players are not good enough anymore. A lot of the managers, like coaching staff, are not good enough. Half of this team is not good enough. If I'm being honest with you. Hello, by the way, Clemens. Big up to you. How are you? So, serious change here. Let's talk about serious change. We are looking at binning off 8, 9, 10 players. That's what we're talking about when we say serious change. Carl Walker has to go. Calvin Phillips has to go. He's still outplayed. He's still on out of books. John Stones probably has to go. Akanji has to go, if we're being honest. Too injury prone, just not on the quality. One of the goalkeepers, maybe both of the goalkeepers will go. But Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, I mean, we're looking at 7 players there. Some people want to... Grealish, I forgot about Grealish, 8 players, bro. 8 players. To bin off. Rico Lewis, Mateus Nunes, they go 10 players. 10 players to bin off. McAtee is leaving. Talk about serious overhaul. And what are we saying from the club right now? The football that you see on the pitch shows a lot of what you will see next season. Say that you want me to say that you want Say that you want me. What? Why can't I read? Say that you want me. Say that you want me all of the time. Oh, these are song lyrics. Okay, say that you need me. Say that you need me. Always be mine, because we've got Guardiola. Yeah. Nah, bro. Guardiola. Here's the thing, yeah. A lot of Man City fans are saying top 5 at FA Cup. Both. Bare minimum. Both. You can finish trophyless if you get second. If you get to a final, you cannot finish trophyless. And 5th. Like 20, 30 points behind the league leaders. You cannot. You cannot. Both. It's not top 5 or FA Cup, it's both or be gone. Oh, 1 in 14 is a sackable offense, but he's got credit in the bank. If it's a sackable offense, but he's got credit in the bank, then it's not a sackable offense, is it? And we've had a lot more wrong this season from Pep than just 1 in 14. So when people tell me, oh, 1 win in 14 is a sackable offense, but he's got credit in the bank, then it's not a sackable offense. Like, you're waffling. You're telling me it's a sackable offense, but you don't sack him for it. Why not? Do you have any maybe fair arguments? Do you believe that next season Pep Guardiola will be better? Why? Oh, we'll bin off Bernardo Silva, we'll bin off Gundogan. Will we? Because Pep Guardiola wants Bernardo Silva to stay. Pep Guardiola is playing Gundogan because he needs 3 more games to trigger an automatic extension. 3 more games and he gets an automatic extension. So you're telling me that Pep Guardiola will be better next season. And he wants all the players that have been scapegoated this season to stay. You're telling me next season Pep Guardiola will be better when Pep Guardiola is the one who started this thing without centre backs. No full backs, just centre backs. Here's the thing about Pep Guardiola. When people say he will be better again next season, why? Don't use the past, because you're comparing apples to oranges. Football is changing. Real time, football is changing. I need to see Pep change with football. We all need to see Pep change with football to have an honest reason to believe that next season he will be good again. If he does not change with football, he will be left behind. Same happened to Arsene Wenger, to Jose Mourinho, even to Graham if you want to include him. These managers, they don't change, they get left behind. That's what happens. So you can't use the past as a reason why Pep will be good in the future. There is no credit in the bank. Because football has changed. So now tell me, and you can feel free to disagree with me on this shit. I don't think Pep will change. I don't think he's capable of changing with football. What makes Alex Ferguson the greatest of all time is that he changed with football, grew with football, adapted to different grades. He had to compete against Arsene Wenger, prime Mourinho at the same time, and he adapted. That is what makes him the greatest of all time. He had to compete with Carlo Ancelotti as well, by the way, at Chelsea. That's what makes him the greatest of all time. What Pep Guardiola lacks is that adaptability, and he's not shown it for me. He's never done it. Now, you can't argue he's never had to do it. I disagree. I think he had to do it at Bayern and failed. But let's say he's never had to do it. We've got no reason to believe he will. We have no reason to believe he will. This season has shown that. Same issues all season long. Same issue. Far post is weak. Guardiola gets cooked. Rico Lewis gets cooked. Far post goal. All season long. Since Leicester fucking City. Since before that. Remember the 4-peat season? Where we were talking about the fullbacks being fucking scuffed? Yeah, that's an issue that has carried over into this season. We're talking about a manager that has to change to keep up with football, and he's not changing. Credit in the bank means fuck all. Bro, here is a perfect example. In Belgium, we used to have Belgian francs. We used to have a currency called Belgian francs. So if I go to a store right now, I go to a store and I try to pay for a bottle of water with Belgian francs, they will say, brother, it's euros now. You pay in euros now. I can say, oh no, this is money. I have money in the bag. We don't use that currency anymore. It's outdated. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's worthless. So all the credit in the bank he has is worthless. Because we're talking about a changing landscape. You can't use the past to predict the future when the future is different. You can use past experiences to predict the future when times are relatively the same. Not when times are completely different. So when people tell me, oh, Pep has credit in the bank. No, he doesn't. All his credit is outdated. And a lot of the stuff here, that's right now Pep Guardiola, or that Man City is struggling with, are issues Pep Guardiola carried over from last season. But that season, Rodri carried us. And last season, managers hadn't adapted as much. Xabi Alonso is gonna change football. Watch, I'm not saying he will do it to the same degree as Pep, but he will change football. When Pep first got into the Premier League, everyone was playing 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. Nowadays, 4-2-3-1 is a favorite formation. 4-2-3-1. That is completely different from 4-3-3 and 4-4-2. So no, he's got no credit in the bank. Credit in the bank is a myth, bro. Even the defensive teams, they used to play 4-4-2. Nowadays, they play 4-5-1 with a flat 5, or they play 5-4-1. It's completely different. Bro. So, saying he's got credit in the bank, sorry, that just does not make sense. Because the credit is outdated currency, bro. It's outdated currency, that's all it is. But anyhow, yeah. That's my preview here, I suppose, for the end of the season. We need to end the season strong. We really do. Because it's just fucked, man. It's just fucked. The way we've gone about this season, the way we've failed to try, we need to do better. We really do. I expect better from this club. Like, if I'm being honest, I expect better from this club. And I can't say credit in the bank with this type of season. I can say that in 1920, I can't say it to this season. So give us a good end to the season, give it something to hope for, or we're cooked next season. So be ready for that, I suppose. Be ready for the Man City banter adult to continue next season. All we can do is hope here that we end the season strong. Thank you guys for sticking along here today. I don't see much in chat right now, so that will be it for me. Alfred in chat, guys, because I will redirect you guys to a Tottenham fan, Eltal Cockerel. So I'll see you guys on the next one, which is Blue Friday show. Actually, we're going live in the Blue Friday show in an hour then.